Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of my free-to-play series. Now this is going to be the series where I teach you how to grow as a free-to-play player, where I teach you how to go from bronze all the way up to mythic. And this is going to be the series where us, Chromium, are going to go from a mere human, someone in bronze, to an elder dragon, which is someone in mythic. Now first thing we need to fix is that we need to change our avatar and be Teferi, because Teferi is the best magic card in my opinion. Now let's go right into the pack opening, and then before you click out of this and go like free to play player, he has that many packs, clickbait, I've made a video on how to get all of these packs for free, so make sure to check that out. And without further ado, let's open our packs. So let's check what we might get so we can see what we might build. Alright, so all of these are new obviously because we have nothing, and yes, just what I wanted, a milk card, and I am being sarcastic. This is not a very good card to build around, and what's good is that we're gonna earn a bunch of wild cards that might be good for us to so I keep unlocking the jank. So these are gonna be good for us so we can build a deck with them. Right now we only have 2 rares, but with this I think we could get 4 and then build a deck. This card is a pretty good removal spell. Let's get a decent rare please. And we do not hit any good rare. I mean, it's a decent spell, but it's 6 mana. And I'm not the biggest white player, so I don't think we're gonna go into that. Applied Biomancy is nice. Let's check here. So we get a Domri, and my fans know that Gruul is my favorite color. And no, Gruul is not my favorite color, like not anywhere near. Gate Ablaze is super good. The wild cards are actually the best thing out of all of this. Priest is decent if we ever branch out into Rakdos Sacrifice. That's a pretty good deck right now in the meta. Let's check. Let's get some Shocklands, maybe. Absorb is just perfect for a control player like me. We're not going to use it anytime soon, because control decks are going to cost us a lot, but maybe one day. This could be good in a deck I'm considering, which is Azorius Flyers. Let's see. And we hit another Jank Mill card, exactly what I wanted. So can we hit a Nissa? Nissa is such a good card in the deck that I have in mind. Okay, Teferi is the best. I don't mind if we open shit for the rest of all of these packs. We got a Teferi, and we get another Teferi, which is the Time Twist. This is good in Orzhov Aristocrats. Krenko is not the biggest thing. We're not that excited to see it, but we're almost at, yeah, we have 4 rare cards right now. This could be good in a mono blue deck, but I don't think I'm gonna play that. So we almost have 4 rares, which means we're going to be able to build something cool. Risen Reef is decent, that's a very good card. Chalk is also a good card. Leyland and Combustion, honestly not my favorite card, and not what I want to see right now. Let's see, so all of these are new. What do we open now? Planar Cleansing is cool because I mentioned I want to play control, and then maybe we can use that to build our way up. What do we get from Throne of Eldraine? Boros Knights might be something we consider playing, so that's not as bad as you guys might think. Let's try to get Ambusher. I really want an Ambusher. Mystic Sanctuary is one of my favorite lands. I played in Pauper. Can I please stop getting green cards? I do not like green. So I play this in my Pauper deck and it helps me do so many infinite combos. This land was a mistake at common. Honestly, let's hit an Ambusher. Not aggro cards. I do not like aggro cards. Let's open an Uro. Uro would be perfect in Simic Flash, which is the deck I'm considering building. That's not an Uro Arena. Arena, you kind of need to give us something. We're free-to-play players, Arena. Help us out. And yes, the best card to play. This has so many applications in decks. Spoiler, it does not. Alright, so last pack. Is it an Uro? Is it not an Uro? Let's do this. I'm gonna close my eyes and then we're gonna check. Is it Uro? It's not Uro, it's an 8 mana, 7 mana spell. And I don't even have this on my pay to play account. Oh, that's good. Alright, so let's see what I have in mind. Let me explain to you what I have in mind and what I want to build. So this is one of the decks called Azure Skies. And what it gives you is it gives you a bunch of good cards for a tempo deck. It gives you 4 Unsummon, 2 Spectre Sailors, and 3 Brindborn Cutthroat. And I think these can be used to build a very good deck. And the deck I have in mind specifically is Simic Flash, because it suits my playstyle. I like to play tempo a lot as a player, so I think we're gonna build that. Now other decks you could have built, and I'm gonna have guides about them very soon, are Mono Red. You can build Mono Red Aggro or Mono Red Cavalcade. You can play Azorius Flyers, I've mentioned it in the video previously. You can play Orzhov Auras. You can play Rakdos Sacrifice, Selesnya Auras, and even Boros Knights. I'm gonna have deck guides hopefully soon about each and every one of these budget decks. They should cost you barely around 20 uncommons or commons, and you might own already some of them, and maximum I think 3 or 4 rares. I think the maximum number of rares that we're gonna use is in the Simic Flash deck, but I think it's a very good deck to climb the ladder with. So without further ado, let's start building this deck. So this deck isn't gonna cost us a lot because we already own most of the cards. So let's get our Brineborn Cutthroat. We're gonna have to sadly make one of them. Let's get Frilled Mystic. And how to redeem cards you don't own copies of. You go to here, you toggle non-collected, and then you keep on. You just press what you need. So Frilled Mystic, we need 4 of that because it's a very good card. A Nightback Ambusher is a green card. I'm gonna explain to you the deck after we're done with building it. So Spectral Sailor is something we need. This is such a good card. You can drop it. The tempo aspect is so good, and drawing a card per turn stacks way quickly. This can run with games. So Unsummon is something we're looking to play as well. Now Sinister Sabotage is also a very good spell. I hope we have no copies. That feels very bad. I think we're gonna have to use everything we just unlocked. So Quench. We also have 0 quenches. I kept on hitting green cards sadly in my openings. I think I'm gonna go with Opt as well. Now I'm gonna try and check if the code for the style of Opt gives you Opt before actually proceeding to redeem it. Let's get Mystical Dispute. And we have no dispute, so I think we're gonna go with Negate just because I don't want to use too many wild cards at the moment. So let's go with 2 Negates instead of 2 disputes. That's not gonna hit the deck that much. And let's tell them that this is a standard deck just so they stop asking me. And there's a Theros card that's actually decent. It's called, I'm not gonna know how to spell it, so I might as well show it to you right here. This is better than you expect. This can sometimes win you the game just because your opponent attacked and then they're expecting Letha and they're expecting to win, and then you drop this, you don't block, and then you win. This happened before while I was testing the deck for the series, and it is a better card than you expect. So for the mana base, I don't think we want this distribution of land. So I think we're gonna go for 8 forests. We're gonna go for 12 islands, and there's an uncommon land called Thornwood Falls, which we have 4 copies of, obviously. So this is our only dual land. It's gonna give us the option of just having mana consistency, because Frilled Mystic is gonna be very hard to play in this deck, but I think we're gonna be able to do it. So right now, this deck is gonna cost me how much? We don't have enough wild cards to build it. So let's see what we might be able to cut. So I think we can cut 2 Sabotages. Is that enough? I think, yeah, that is enough. So it's gonna cost us 12 uncommon. So we're gonna go with 1 more Sinister Sabotage. Okay, Arena, yes, I'm gonna draft 2. Good. Alright. So we're gonna be able to earn the last one pretty quickly. And I think this deck is gonna be pretty good for us in ladder. So I'm gonna do just one thing. I'm gonna check if you can redeem Opt using the code. I think the code is Super Scry or something like that. Let me check. So if you don't know where you can get the codes, just go to my previous video. I'll link it down in the description below, and you're gonna get a bunch of free codes you can use to unlock several things. So I think it's Super Scry or something like that. I've redeemed it like a year ago, so I'm not sure if I still have it memorized. Alright, so it is Super Scry, and we do get 1 copy of Opt, which is decent. Reducing the cost of the deck with 1 card only is gonna matter a lot in a free-to-play series. So let's just get Opt and then just redeem 3 more. And I think with that we're gonna be able to play this deck. Now what do we add 1 copy of? We want to play 3 Negates. Sabotage, we can play 2. What do we add? Let's check. Let's check our blue cards and see what we can add. So, don't like any of these so far. Maybe what I am considering is the land spell that lets us surveil, or Applied Biomancy. Applied Biomancy is a super good card because it can pump and bounce something, and we have exactly one, which is the Gods of Magic telling us to play this. So we don't have sleeves yet, but there's a code in the video that can give you a sleeve, so make sure to check that out. So we're gonna save and exit. We're just gonna name our deck Simic Flash or Budget Flash. Now I'm gonna have a upgrade guide in the deck guide I'm gonna provide for this to tell you what you should look out for, what cards you want to get for this deck. So make sure to check those out, and let's start our first rank game. So our plan is to earn as much gold as we can, because as I've mentioned in my free-to-play guide, you're trying to get as much gold as you can, just to use that gold to go for drafts. So as soon as we hit 5,000 gold in this account, we're gonna go for a draft. Now, alternatively, what we can go for is to just enter a standard event, but I think our deck isn't at a point where we can play standard events just yet. So we're gonna try to farm as much as we can during drafts. So one thing I want to ask you guys is, do you want me to show you all of the grind, or do you just want me to tell you what I did? Like, for example, I was considering just telling you how much I grinded off screen to get, like, for example, the 15 daily wins that I've mentioned before. So this hand is actually worse than the last one, but I think we're gonna keep, and I think we can bottom Field Mystic safely. And let's be nice to our opponent and tell him hello. Alright, so Spectre Sayer is probably gonna be played at the end step, and then we're gonna quench whatever he plays next. So our opponent that has expensive sleeves, so I think he's probably playing like some competitive deck, and then yes, he drops Scorch Splitter. So I think this is gonna be a very hard matchup for us. And I don't know why my opponent is in bronze if he has that good of a deck. So we're gonna just play this, and I don't think we want to trade just yet. So we're just gonna attack. So what I was saying to you is, do you want me to show you all of the grind process? Like, do you want me to show you all of the games I play, or do you want me to grind off screen to get, for example, the daily wins, and then we get like a bunch of more gold that we can use for quests? That we can use for drafts. So opponent has 2 mana right now, so you can drop a Cavalcade, and if we get to counter it, we're gonna feel pretty good about ourselves. I mean, we're still behind on damage wise because this is gonna deal 2, but we're not that behind. So Fervent Champion isn't the worst card, but I think I want to quench it. Yeah, I think we're gonna quench it, because it provides us with a bit of a tempo swing, and we decrease his damage right off the bat. If we get that 1-3 that we were playing in the deck, the one with flash, we get stop this, reduce its toughness, block it, and then kill it. So our opponent is thinking, I think he probably has a shock, and he's considering if he wants to just shock the Spectre Sailor, but I think it's too late to do that. I'm not too late, I mean it's too early to do that. He plays Infuriate, so his deck isn't completely meta yet. So we take 5, very casual, very casual. I think I'm gonna opt main phase just to try to dig for something, maybe a land. Brineborn Cutthroat is a super serious good threat, because it's gonna grow out of reach from the mono red deck very quickly, so he needs to deal with it next turn, or else he's gonna be pretty behind. I'm gonna choose not to attack, because I want to bait him into using all of his mana so we can play Cutthroat safely. So what I want to do, and what I want to set up, is just to block here. Then after blocking here, we're gonna be able to maybe bait out a spell. Feels bad to let Cavalcade resolve, but I think it's fine. So we're trying to bait out anything, maybe another Infuriate, so Cutthroat can enter the battlefield safely. So he doesn't have anything. Let's check if our opponent has a shock or not. I mean, if he has a shock, he would have probably used it last turn. He doesn't, and we have opt and negate. So I'm feeling pretty good about this situation right now. I don't think we're gonna attack. So I could have opted right now to hit a land drop, but I don't think it's that worth it. Growing this out of nowhere is better in my opinion. So if our opponent attacks, he probably has something in his hand that he wants to bait us with. And we're probably gonna block with the Cutthroat just to bait out something. Alright, so Scorching Dragonfire I think is gonna get negated, and I hope he doesn't have any other response. So our opponent isn't running the full meta deck, but I feel bad for him for paying 8,000 gold for sleeves if he's still not completed his deck. I honestly don't think that was the best choice from our opponent's part. So shock, if he has shock in his hand, that would be pretty good for us. Are we getting the blowout? I think we just made him lose a bunch of cards. So we're gonna not get this island because I don't think we want more islands. We're trying to dig for a green source for Ambusher, but I don't think we're gonna get that anytime soon. So if he has a third shock or a third burn spell, I mean that hurts, but we just removed all of that damage from our face, and that's fine. And I think he probably has another Infuriate, but trading the Sailor isn't the worst thing right now, because right now we can just attack with the 4-1, and we do hit that green source. So I think it's time for the mono red player to know what it feels like to be attacked, so attack him for 4. And we're in a good position as long as he doesn't draw away to deal with our... He does not, but he draws away to deal 6 out of nowhere, which is pretty sad for us. So That hurts a lot, because next turn he can do that again, but we do hit the green source for Ambusher, meaning we can deal with one of his blockers, with one of his attackers. If he doesn't draw a bunch of another one, I think we're in a pretty safe spot. Don't draw anything with haste, opponent. Yes, draw lands, opponent. Exactly what I want you to do right now. So he attacks, we're gonna flash in the... So right now we're in a very sad spot, because if he draws Skewer the Critics, right now we're at 4 life. So what he can do is just attack, and then after attacking he can just use Shock or use a Skewer the Critics to just kill us, and that would feel very bad for us. So I did not block the token because I'm trying to draw Unsummon, because if we do Draw Unsummon, we do not. But if I did, we could have unsummoned the token, meaning we could have killed it for free. I'm gonna attack with the Cutthroat. And I'm not attacking with the Ambusher as well, because I'm afraid he draws anything with haste. We're gonna get a token to block, so we're gonna be fine. As long as he doesn't draw Skewer the Critics, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna survive. Please don't be a Skewer. Please don't be a Skewer, opponent. Opponent. Don't do this to us. Lava Coil is fine, it's better than a Skewer. He's still way behind tempo-wise. Next turn we can attack with a 5-4. And then we're still in a spot of where if he draws something with haste, we're in a bad position, but I mean, we have to play to our out. Thornwood Falls is not the worst thing to draw right now, because it gives us a turn. If he draws, like, for example, Shock right now, Shock isn't lethal because we get to block, and then after blocking, we don't take damage, and he can only drop us to 1. So is it us winning? No, not Chandra, this is brutal. Alright, so he's gonna use Chandra to make 2 things with haste, and then he's gonna attack us. And I'm sorry guys, but we lost to my arch enemy and everyone's arch enemy, probably Mono Red. So we're still fine. We kind of just started with this deck and we did not hit the best lands. Mulliganing also hurt us pretty much. Not drawing any of our interaction like Unsummon was sad. So let's try to win at least 1 game with this series. I'm not gonna play ranked if I'm not playing in the series, so don't worry about that. I'm not grinding on the ladder without you guys. We're doing this together. The only thing I want to do probably alone is just to grind out some of these quests, some of the daily wins to get XP. Then we can open a bunch of boosters together. So let's see. Running into Mono Red and a very good deck compared to what we have from the start wasn't the best thing ever. But let's try to play against something better right now. And I think this is a pretty decent hand. Cutthroat on turn 2, Opt or Unsummon is a pretty good mix of cards. And the tempo advantage is gonna be good for us. So we're just gonna play our island. And then we're gonna pass. We're not gonna opt just yet, because opt increases in value when Cutthroat is on the field. And I think the more we get out of the Cutthroat, the better. So opponent is playing a green deck. I think we're advantaged against green, mainly due to the fact that we get to tempo them out pretty brutally. Right now we can try to set up Field Mistake on turn 4 by opting to get a green source. That's the only thing we're missing. So alright, so opponent, whatever you play, if he plays a mana dork, which means a creature that taps for mana, that's not a creature that taps for mana. I was saying that I was probably gonna unsummon it. So we played the Cutthroat. Now, if he plays an aura next turn to equip it to the spinner, what we will do is to unsummon it in response. That way we make him lose 1 card and we tempo him out. Alright, so we're just gonna pass. And I don't think if he plays a white source, he might be punished, because there's a card called Karametra's Blessing that gives enchantment creatures or enchanted creatures hexproof. So we can be able to bounce it in that case, but he doesn't. So which is telling me that he's probably playing mono green auras. I don't know how much or how many auras you have access to as mono green, but I mean our opponent probably knows what he's doing. At least I hope. So we're not gonna block because we get to deal more damage if we just opt attack next turn. So what does my opponent have? Maybe Giant Growth? Titanic Growth, alright. So I think we don't want to take 6. So we're just gonna bounce. And then we can set up Field Mystic next turn, so whatever he plays we just Field Mystic, and that's a pretty good thing. So we're gonna opt, and then try to deck for that untapped green source, please deck. Another Cutthroat is worth not having an untapped green source, because what we can do is play him, play negate. That's pretty fine in my book, because that's an additional 3 damage out of nowhere. So our opponent's probably not gonna expect it. And then even if he doesn't do anything, what might happen is he plays his Destiny Spinner once again. After he plays it, we just attack. If he does anything to kill it, we just negate. I think we're in a pretty good position right now. So, a Rhino, I don't think we have a way to deal with that just yet. But what we will do is just to play the Cutthroat. And then yes, grow it just a bit more. And I don't think we're gonna attack. And yes, once again, we draw green cards without a green source. So this gives him a lot of value, so I think I'm fine with trading, because whenever he plays something that targets this, he's gonna draw a card, and I don't want my green opponent that I'm trying to tempo out to draw cards. So if he's fine with the trade, I'm fine with the trade as well, because this is gonna gain him a lot of value in the game, and we don't want that to happen, do we? So we're digging for a green source pretty hard, and I think it's just karma for me saying that we don't need that many green sources in the deck guide, and then boom, just getting a bunch of green cards. So I did not explain the deck thoroughly, because I'm gonna do that in a separate deck guide, so make sure to watch that. Right now we can't counter any enchantment because of the Destiny Spinner. So we're not in that bad of a position, because we're not under any type of pressure, but we kind of need to start drawing green. And Arena is pretty funny for adding purple mana on April 1. Very funny Arena, very funny. I loved it. And yes, I am being sarcastic. Alright, so we're obviously gonna negate Nissa. I don't even know how he got a Nissa as a starter, as the starter deck. Alright. So what I was saying, yes, I don't like companies doing pranks on April Fools. I think it's very not funny and very stupid, but people do what they want. So we're gonna unsummon the Leafkin Druid and then just block here, because he's tapped out, he can't do anything. And we might be able to finally set up Field Mystic next turn if we draw our green source. If we draw Opt, we also might be able to play Opt and then Opt and try to dig for a green source. So we're gonna block here. Please try to, I don't know why Arena is lagging. So this is what the tempo decks do. Can I please stop drawing lands? So one thing I'm gonna tell you, like one small tip I'm gonna show you right now, is don't always play your lands. So right now your deck can function with that many lands, 5, so don't show your opponent that you top decked a land. Just don't play it. Keep it in your hand. It's fine, you're not losing any value. So our opponent doesn't do much, so please, can we draw our green source? This is gonna be brutal. Yes, we draw our green source. We finally draw a green source. I've never been this happy drawing a land. Like, seriously, I've never been this happy drawing a land. So we're gonna just pass, and if he doesn't do anything, we're gonna play the Ambusher. So opponent is thinking what he can do. We're probably gonna play the Ambusher because it doesn't seem like he's gonna do much. If he attacks, we're not gonna block. I mean, we're still at 20 life, he's at 12, we're way ahead in the race. So Oaken Form, target this. That gives it +3/+3, so it's at 6. Yeah, I think I don't want that to happen, so we're just gonna Field Mystic. Grow this, so he can't even attack right now, even if he wants to. And our opponent has a response. What does he have? I mean, he could have Rapid Bite to play after this resolves, but I don't think he can do it. And I think he would have done it earlier just to get rid of this before he attacks. I don't think he has a Rapid Bite in hand. I don't even know if it's legal right now. So let's see. Field Mystic is not going to resolve because I think our opponent is just reading it. Green player is learning about blue spells. Best thing ever. So opponent is going to have this on the stack forever. He removed a card to prevent it from losing hexproof. So to give it hexproof, I mean, I don't think that works the way you think, opponent. Or he's just tilted and he's showing us that he's tilted. So we're gonna counter that, and he just lost his counter from his creature. I don't know why, I don't know what he's doing, but I think my opponent knows what he's doing. Probably has a Rabbit Bite, so he attacks. And as I've mentioned, we're not behind in the race, so I think we're not gonna block and just take 2 damage. He probably has a Pump Spell. Is it a Pump Spell, opponent? Opponent, stop acting like you have 7 cards in hand and you're thinking, alright, so it was a Pump Spell. So that was good that we didn't block, we didn't lose a creature. And double Ambusher is super nice, because right now they get to pump each other. So that's a bunch of damage coming out of nowhere. We're super ahead right now, and I don't think there's a lot of cards that can make us lose. Like, even if he top decks Nissa, we play the Ambusher, and then we take care of his land token, I mean land creature, because look, Nissa says you put 3 counters on something, it becomes an elemental creature. That is not the worst thing ever, because he doesn't have any cards in hand. So we're fine. If he attacks, we're just gonna flash in the ambusher, block it. He doesn't attack, wise choice opponent, very wise choice. So right now he has to block with everything. We're probably gonna lose our Field Mystic during the battle, but we're fine. We're still winning, trust me guys, we are winning. So this is how tempo decks work. You kind of push damage while at the same time disrupting your opponent's plan. So either you unsummon something, making them time walk, and you basically make them replay their whole turn once more. I think he should have blocked in a different way, probably the Mystic blocked by the Rhino, but I mean, I don't think my opponent is considering that we can win this game at this point. So we're winning next turn whether our opponent plays a spell or not. If he plays a creature, we have the Ambusher. Don't think there's anything that can beat us at this stage. He plays a land, so good game opponent. And we're gonna play the Ambusher obviously just to like show him that we already had the game in mind, so he doesn't feel bad about losing. And then we're just gonna attack for lethal. So what I was telling you is that tempo decks kind of disrupt their opponent's plans, but at the same time they also have pressure, and that's a perfect mix against control decks and sometimes against mid-range decks. It highly depends on the draw and how the matchup is favored. So let's play one more game before we end this video, because it's I think it's 1 AM right now and I think I need to sleep. So let's play one more game and then we finally finish this video. So we earned some XP, we need a bunch of XP to get our back, and let's play our last 100 rank game. So I'm gonna include in the video that I'm gonna explain this deck in, like the deck guide, I'm gonna include a bunch of things you should think about upgrading. And lands might not seem like the most exciting thing to like get and redeem with wildcards, but trust me, lands are the most important thing in the game. And I've just showed you how we were stuck on not having a green source, not being able to cast our Mystic or our Ambusher. That proves how important lands are. The first thing I did when I became a better Magic player in paper, that is I started collecting a playset of every shock land and a playset of every check land, and I'm almost done with that. I'm only missing the Sun Petal Grows, which are a green-white shock land. So we're playing against Gates. So a thing we should be worried about is Gates Ablaze, because we might even be playing against Gruul, but I don't think you would play this. If you're not Gates, you would have probably played the Gain Life card. Gain Life land, I mean. So he might be Gruul actually. Yeah, he is Gruul aggro. Alright, so we're fine against this matchup because Melody Singer is gonna get us a bunch of value in this matchup. So here, he's gonna get the shine, because what's gonna happen is my opponent's probably gonna attack with this collector. We're gonna flash this in, give it -2, -0, and then double block maybe. So as long as my client doesn't crash because of how bad my internet connection is, I think we're very ahead in this matchup and I think we can easily win. So opponent, what could you play in turn 3? And I have the card in mind, but I don't know the name. I don't memorize green cards. That was not what I had in mind. So we're gonna counter that just because I don't want my opponent to get his counters on this, and we don't have a way to deal with activated abilities. And I don't think we need a land right now. We're pretty fine just playing Cutthroat next turn and Singer. Watch me top deck Field Mystic after I dropped a... Okay, we don't top deck Field Mystic. I'm not as unlucky as I think. So we're gonna attack right now, just because I want to bait him into attacking next turn in case his collector grows. And we do the play that I've had in mind, but right now we flash Cutthroat and then we flash the Singer. Our opponent is not gonna like the Singer, he's gonna go like, the Singer is shit. Alright, so our opponent, what I was mentioning last turn is not that again, so let's play the Cutthroat first. You always want to play your Cutthroat before playing anything, because they get value off of getting things cast. And let's try to play Opt and try to find another Opt, and that might not be the best line of play. It's a decent line of play. We don't want a green source. And then watch me top deck Field Mystic. Alright, so I think we're fine even if we lost our Mystic. We try, or the Cutthroat, we tried to go for a line of play that did not happen sadly. But we're still fine. Next turn we can either Singer Sabotage, or we can, yeah, I told you I'm gonna top deck a Mystic after discarding that many green lands. And I think I bottomed one. Alright, so we're not in the worst spot right now. Let's see. Do we attack? I think we can safely attack. We're not behind in the race, we're pretty ahead in the race. And if he tries to pump this in any way with his hand, we can just play the Singer minus and then get the tempo advantage that way. So he does not do anything. So the card I have in mind is a card that has Riot, and it says as long as it's your turn you have hexproof. I don't know the name because I'm not an expert on green cards, sadly. Not really. I'm very happy with not knowing a lot of green cards. So what will our opponent play? That's a very important question that you need to keep in mind when playing a tempo deck. So we're afraid of anything with Riot, but we can sabotage whatever he plays. Put 2 counters on this. I don't think I want to let him do that, so we're just gonna run out the sabotage, grow this a bunch more, and then the cool thing about this is that we not only got rid, I'm gonna keep the source for Field Mystic, not only did we get rid of the spell, we got rid of the creature as well. I don't think we can easily deal with the 6/5. So best case scenario, our opponent attacks, and then when he attacks we play the Singer and then just block. Alright, so our opponent is not playing around anything. This man is here just to play a fast game and then win. So we're gonna do this right now, we're gonna block, and this is where Singer kind of shines in creature heavy matchups. So we're gonna block, and then we just block. Next turn we attack for 6, and if our opponent doesn't play anything relevant we get the Field Mystic next turn. I think that should be over. So unsummon also could be a nice stop deck because we get to do this once more, we get to attack once more and kind of time walk our opponent and set up Field Mystic next turn. So he draws nothing, and I think this game is in the bag, guys. I think this game is pretty much secured. So let's see. Attack for 6. Our opponent, whatever our opponent plays next turn, I think he's dead because we can Field Mystic and it's gonna be pretty over. And I might not even counter the first thing they play because we can win just by having an additional creature than they have. So if he plays like something for 2 mana, I might just let it slide and hit the field. I'm obviously not gonna let this slide. So do I Quench or do I Mystic? Let's Mystic. Quench makes him tilt more, but I don't want to tilt my opponent. I feel bad for my opponent. So let's just counter that. And he had his hopes and dreams in resolving the spell. And this is where I hate playing control, because it feels bad to counter your opponent's spells when they've put so much thought and effort into thinking how they can get to resolve it, and then you hit them with the counter. And yes, I'm lying, I like countering spells. I love countering my opponent's spells. So that's gonna be pretty much it for this for this free-to-play series, episode 1. If you did enjoy the content, please consider to subscribe, like, comment what you think you want me to play next. I'm gonna have the deck guides very, very soon. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.